Okay, we are live back in Penang, Malaysia. Jesse Matthews and Jason Katz-Brown here for the next round. It was Thacha, and Saidu.
Thacha and Saidu.
Yeah, so it'd be a great matchup
here.
here.
Two of the top performers from yesterday.
Yeah, Thacha actually individually had the best performance of anyone in the room. And then Saidu, I believe, had the fourth best individually. So both extremely strong performances for their respective teams. Looking forward to seeing a very well contested match this round.
They're also...
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're also both characters.
Mm-hmm.
They're like... You wouldn't mistake them for any other people.
Saidu is a lot of fun to talk to.
In terms of like how they talk and like what they talk about and their buoyancy. Yeah, Saidu was so fun to talk to.
He's very dynamic. We got to talk a little bit between rounds out in the hallway yesterday, and he was recounting some of his experiences where he was playing and was excited when I said I'd love to play in the God's Will tournament someday. He was
Absolutely.
like, oh really, you'd actually come? I was like, yeah, to me I would. He was like, but aren't some of you afraid of Africa? I was like, no, people are people. And he's like, great, we need people like that, please come.
Indeed.
He was awesome.
Everybody should go to Nigeria to play Scrabble.
Yeah, it's on my list, the God's Will tournament for sure. Would love to do it someday.
Yeah, I love the Thailand Nigeria matchup because the stories of both countries are so inspiring and should be role models for every country.
They both treat Scrabble quite a bit differently than we're used to. In Nigeria, it is pretty much all out a sport, the way that they approach Scrabble.
Yeah.
And then Thailand, there's some of the most chaotic Scrabble tournaments we've ever seen, and chaos in a good way, where they have the tournaments held in big malls in Bangkok.
Yeah, what could be better than playing in a mall?
I actually like the idea. I don't mind the noise. I've never really been one of those shushers, you know, when games are happening.
Absolutely, playing in the mall is the best.
If you can handle the noise, then yeah, it's certainly a unique environment for sure.
Oh, Thacha's going first.
Yes, so Thacha has played Pori.
Oh, he's playing vertically. My.
He's one of those dreaded verties.
Is that becoming more and more popular?
I don't know. I haven't really seen a ton of people do it. I think Matthew Tunnicliffe is just someone I think of immediately as someone who posts about his dislike for the vertical openings. It's probably more trolling than anything, but he's the one I remember immediately. Send down with Saidu. Some of his options to consider. Fib comes to mind immediately. He's going for Barfi here.
Yeah, Barfi is quite good. I love the speed at which he played that.
Mm-hmm. Barfi is the most balanced. It's I would be staring at that eye and wondering what was going on if I were Thacha here.
Yeah, probably the other top choice was Fib to the right of Pori, setting up some A plays on the triple. And AAIN is like not the worst sleeve.
Meanwhile, on Thacha's side, he has pulled a blank. He's got waged U blank.
IQ weed?
Eggweed, yes.
Well, there's a bunch of options. In addition to IQ weed, you can play a word that I cannot pronounce. Waft or guideway.
It just sounds like I'm trying to clear my throat when I'm saying that word. Wacht.
Yeah. Is he looking? But he's not looking at any of those. He hasn't lined up any of his guideway or waft or ague weed.
Looks like he's got unwaged lined up.
Yeah, but it's not playable. Eh?
We have some love for the verties in the chat here. Jennifer Lee loves the vertical openings. So does Ryan Fisher.
I think Waft would be the highest scoring play, the best play, but I'm obviously quite rusty, but if I recall correctly, in TWL WAF is only a like interjection or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so WAF is probably British only. So maybe he's thinking about whether he wants to try it or not. I think you should try it.
Jennifer is sharing her long-time dedication to being a Verdi. I was a Verdi before I knew what a Verdi was, and a decade before I was playing tournaments.
I was playing Waft.
That's some dedication right there, Jen. Congratulations.
Great playing. Go Thacha. That's 74 points.
Rebecca Slipka says, Watted is good in TWL as well, with a T after the GH.
Mm-hmm. Good note.
It is a verb, apparently, and it means to drink. It must be something strong, because still, like, pronouncing it for me just sounds like I had something very tough to drink and my throat is...
Well, what does waft mean?
Oh, without the T? That's a good
Yeah.
question. Perhaps the same thing in Collins?
That's a Q, eh? So
That is
I
a
guess you
Q,
can play Kadi.
yes. So Kadi is a...
There's a Q.
But there's
a
a
huge
I
Q
there,
play
yeah,
also,
the I spot. Yeah.
That's nice. And he has an N, so he can play, keep, wow. This is a evenly matched game so far. I love
Barfi
it.
worked out very well for him.
Yeah.
So Sam Rosen says, Jason is right. Wah is damp as an adjective in TWL.
Oh, it's an adjective, not an interjection. I was partially right.
And someone else says, WAF is how you pronounce it, apparently. It is an alternate spelling of WAFF.
Oh, that's a great way to remember it. Brilliant. The people on our chat are so good at making the chat great.
Mm-hmm. We have a wonderful crowd here this evening, in this case, for you North Americans out there. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a lot of letters.
So he's got pivot and a BV.
Yeah. Jesse Matthews, have you ever made a good play that had two V's in it?
Have I? Probably Vavasor in some form at some point in time.
You played Vavasor?
I have played Vavasor.
Look at you. Good going.
Which spelling was it? I can't remember. I think it might have been the one with OU.
Nice.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's standard things like votives. That's come up at some point before, but Vavasor was more fun.
Votive is quite a nice play by Thacha. It's best by far. 40 points.
Jennifer Lee is talking about her bagel calendar that she made for Evans. Sam Rosen is on the calendar for this month, along with Gabriel Wong and Austin Shin. Apparently it sounds like I'm saying Bulbasaur instead of Vavasor. All right, well, for you Pokemon fans out there, there's my unintentional reference to the Pokemon kingdom there.
One time, James Long gave me a calendar, a Scrabble calendar.
Yes, you got the Gabriel Wong Memorial Calendar.
And then I forgot it on the airplane.
I have several copies in my house.
I would like a memorial calendar.
I can easily give you one. Gabriel Wong wanted me to destroy them, but I never did. I have kept several copies in my drawer.
Good.
I'm keeping at least one for should he ever have a wonderful wedding ceremony that I'm invited to, then I will make sure it makes it to all the members of the wedding party. Ravenna Ross says, great to see both of the racks on the players. Well done. Yes, that was what we had intended right from the get-go. Yesterday, at the time you were watching, it wasn't operational yet, but now it is firmly in place.
Firmly operational. I wonder what Saidu is thinking, because Boom seems to be undisputably best.
Boom is pretty high up there. The only other thing I can think of...
It basically has the highest scoring and the best lead.
There is, looks like Milano from 8A across to the O and Barfi, but I think I'm more partial to Boom, personally.
Yes.
Sam Rosen is wondering what he's looking at here with loom, because boom seems good. Yeah, we are partial to boom as well.
Or moon. These are so many mysterious thoughts of Saidu. Saidu lives in Australia now for the last 2 years.
Is he in Melbourne?
Melbourne, yeah. I'm not sure what he's doing. He seems to, I think it's related to something agricultural or like water science or soil science.
That's something to ask. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. But he's very coy about everything, which adds to the mystique.
Mm-hmm. Looks like he had briefly lined up Pomelo as an option, but has talked himself into doing something else. Yeah, he's going for boom. Good job.
Good work. Boom. I love it.
And on Thacha's side of the board, that is consonantitis.
Oh my.
And he's making a quick play of flob through the Owen votive. I see no issue with that.
No, that's good. Wow. It sets up some, for such an ugly rack, Saidu has some huge scoring plays.
And the chat has spotted one of them. Ryan Fisher's mentioned laity.
Yeah.
And yes, that is the very high scoring play.
That's an awesome play.
But looks like he's going for yite, which is a slightly more balanced option. And as we do the simulation, actually, Quackle is liking yite right up there with laity as far as where it's simming. Yeah,
that's nice.
Although I think it might be pronounced yitey because the variant spelling of that involves a second I, Y-I-T-I-E. I believe they're both the same word.
Huh. How about that? Oh, wow. Thacha has a very tough to spot double-double. Tough to spot because it's columns only, and just you wouldn't expect there to be any good words here. He has a 7-letter word through the I of chi.
Some kind of dis word, I'm guessing. Oh, dispost.
Ah. Did you know that was a word?
I did.
Wow.
Dispost is a nice word.
What's that mean?
I don't know. I just know it works.
That makes even less sense than de-amortize.
Yeah, that's fair. De-amortize, for those who weren't watching, that was a little troll play from Weibin yesterday.
Oh, and Thacha could not find it.
So it goes for pots. Hello, Jeremy Hildebrand. Welcome to the chat.
Saidu has a bingo. Oh, no, that's an H.
That is an H.
Oh my gosh.
He's got Handled lined up on his rack.
Mm.
And for those of you who are equestrian in the way that you think, there is I don't know how many 8s there are, but I can think of at least one. If you take all the letters in Handled and add a letter. You know what I'm thinking here, Jason?
Shetland.
Yes.
Is it a question?
Shetland
word?
pony.
Oh.
I don't know if that's how it's defined, but that's what came to mind.
Huh. Awesome. It looks like Saidu has lined up the best play of
Daled.
Dala.
So he's going to make that play. That is the optimal choice.
Yeah.
Nice spot.
Yeah, Saidu is not playing like he's rusty at all.
He's doing an excellent
Playing
job.
quickly and accurately.
Chris Hawkins asks, is there any news on when Ed Oculitz will be playing his missed games? Not that it matters that much for tourney positions. I can get back to you on that, Chris. I don't have an answer. But you know what? Michael Tang happens to be in the room, so maybe he knows the answer to that.
Oh, about?
About Ed Oculitz, when he's going to play those games.
So I spoke to both players. They have until today to play the game, otherwise it'll be walkover.
Okay.
So both agreed. So I say, I don't care what time you play. You can don't eat, don't sleep. Just give me a result slip.
Okay. There you go. So we have the answer straight from the mouth of Michael Tang. 10 rounds is already a ton of games today. And if Ed's opponents agreed to replay the games, he could be playing up to 13 matches today. That is that is a headache right there. 10 is already a ton.
Let me save this.
We'll have to see what he does. We'll get back to you once we know more about what they decide to do. My guess is Ed will probably replay them. There's at least one or two results that actually wouldn't influence the points for Team Australia for a round. I think there was 2 out of the 3 rounds that Team Australia won even without Ed's result in, so we'll see what he does. So Thacha is playing DLs, keeping NS. Shout out to DL Saldana.
That's a good play. Well, I'm not sure. I'm curious how Quackle sends it. It's the first instead of Quackle static evaluation. Also, is that I'm not sure that's even in the American dictionary.
DLs?
Impressive word knowledge.
I don't think so. I think it's just Dale, D-E-I-L, is the one that's in there.
And like some of them don't take S, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember anymore.
Yeah, I have no idea either.
It looks like when we look back at the Quackle simulation, it's preferring a fish.
Yeah. But they're very close. Quackle likes playing off an S and also DLs almost equally. I guess the only downside of DLs is that it kills the best S lane of Dela.
The chat mentions Dale and Dales are both good in TWL. Yeah, that I knew. And then TWL only DL without the S. Yeah, that makes more sense to me. DLs didn't look familiar. Mm-hmm. And then Dale, Jeremy provides the definition, is devil, so it takes the S.
Ah.
Chris Hawkins says all 3 games won't affect the round score for those particular heads-to-head. So it's 2 losses for Australia, 1 win that are already decided regardless of those games. So that means that basically if Ed played them, it would be to help with the first tiebreaker. So the first tiebreaker, for those who don't know, is the number of individual wins they've all logged in total in case there's the same number of points each team has. So him playing those games could potentially help for a tiebreaker if they had the same points at the end of the tournament, but it wouldn't change the result as far as points go.
So the best play the Quackle saw for Saidu is CatCon.
Is that like Comic-Con except for cats?
I would love to see the definition. It Could be. I can't think of any other definition.
Or it's just like it's a very specific furry convention just for cats.
Yeah. Saidu's play doesn't make much. Did he had two? Yeah, he had two T's. Didn't he? Oh, maybe he had two R's, and I've gotten the rack wrong. Oh yeah, you must have had two R's. So Croc is a good play.
So Zek and Croc have just been played.
Oof.
That's gutsy. I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah.
It scores a lot, but you're giving a whole bunch back if you have an A or an O.
Yeah. His only other real option was Zugmas through the MA of.
I think I would be more partial to Zugma or Zugmas personally, but that might just be stylistic.
Yeah.
We have seen based on, these players both don't mind being extremely aggressive, given Barfi and now Zek.
Whoa, Saidu had a bingo that he probably correctly passed up of Natren.
Natren.
Gnatwren.
Wow.
From the G of Walked. Natren. That's so cute. Sounds like a despicable organism.
It looks like a despicable set of letters, but that's quite something.
Scoring 41 with AN is good.
So AN goes down. So it's a really close match so far, 260 to 248 with the move back to Thacha.
Yeah, you feel like Thacha had the opportunity to gain a tempo and then kind of give it away.
Gave it away with Zek, yeah.
Yeah.
So Ducks leaving Sang left over.
Yeah, that's not a bad play, but Quackle's favorite play is a really nice setup. Undug from the U of Walk would set up a huge X spot.
Yeah, that's cheeky.
Tricky to would probably go unblocked. So Quackle thinks that Undug would win 72% of the time. Ducks only wins about 67% of the time. And that's against a random rack, so against a good rack with the blankets, probably a bigger difference.
In the chat, Jeremy Hildebrand says Thacha's rack is wrong, that there's actually two R's and not two N's, so we'll just give feedback there so it's changed.
Saidu has one bingo, and he's spotted it, but he's probably really concerned that it's possibly a terrible play, given that it would give so much back. But the most dangerous letter has just been played, the X, so...
So he decided to pass on it and go for war to score.
That makes sense. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. Yeah. The reason is the warrants is a little bit ahead in a sim, and I guess the reason is there's not that many tiles that could really hurt you on that spot opened up by warrants. Really just the H and the M and the Y. But the J could also really hurt you, so... but I support playing war.
Saidu's got a nice rack for next turn to play with. Probably won't have to use the S or the L in DLs at all. P or the O potentially.
I wonder if Thacha has lined up Nagana's. He's lined up Nagana, and I guess Nagana's plays nicely from making QIN to the triple word. But he just plays Naga.
Interesting.
I wonder why he wouldn't. Maybe he didn't know that Naganas would take the S. I mean, I could imagine not being sure if
It's possible.
those are Collins only. Depending on the Thai player, it's tricky. I think it can be tricky for them to maintain strong Collins knowledge because like they play so many domestic tournaments that are TWL.
Mm-hmm. So there is Hornitos through the O and Pori as one example of a play that works for him there.
Ooh, there's an even better play than that.
Ooh,
There's a 9 that scores a bunch more.
A 9!
A 9.
We like 9s. I need to...
Oh, he found it. Have you found it?
I'm trying to figure out
He's
where
lined
to
it up.
even look. Oh, I see he's got like ration something lined up.
Yeah.
But where on the board? Oh, the A and the L?
Yeah.
Oh, rationals, like fractions.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's better. Agreed.
Oh wow, and Thacha's drawn great letters as well. But I guess that would... Rationals would leave no place for a counterplay.
Oh, and the chat mentioned, and I should have mentioned this to you before, Thailand actually switched to all Collins this year.
Really?
They're finally all Collins now. They don't do the TWL things anymore. They just switched that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's wild.
Yeah, so it's a bit different. I'm hoping that means we'll see some of the TWL specialists perhaps come back to play more of the other tournaments, because there's people like, I think it was Charnwood was one example of someone who played TWL more. Maybe he'll come over to the Collins camp. Yeah, it's in the last year they've made that change.
Oh, that's huge. That makes Scrabble even less useful for teaching English.
Oh no.
I love it though. That's a great idea. Was he not going to play rationals? Is he not sure of it? Oh no. Oh, there we go. And I guess Thacha could play Answering, making Crocs. But no, it bingos, eh? Yes, everybody should go to Nigeria to play in a Scrabble tournament. But at the most prolific tournament, the Godswell Fabio International Scrabble Classics, was at its peak back when Godswell Fabio was a governor of Akwa Ibom State.
Okay.
And during that period, he was governor for like around a decade. Like, and he hosted a tournament like on behalf of the state that he was the governor of.
Oh.
Which basically let him be as extravagant as he wanted to, and would go all out, and it was just an incredible party of a tournament. But now he was term limited out of the governorship, and he's now like a member of parliament or a senator or something, and so he can't quite use his funds the same way. And
Gotcha.
so I think it's like the local state club in Aqua State puts on the tournament. So it's not quite as extravagant because they have to pay for it themselves, but it's still definitely worthwhile to go.
Nice.
Yay! Saidu has played Rationals, which is a really good play.
Excellent play.
And I guess Thacha has the choice of a fish or answering. Excuse me. And there's 20 unseen tiles from Thacha's perspective. A, E, 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 I, O, O, U, and G.
Old McDonald's thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old MacDonald had the
If you'd like to
vowels.
see the unseen tiles all the time, mention it in the chat, and then we'll show Kumar, and then maybe he'll put them on. And then consonant-wise, there's G, H, J, L, M, N, N, R, T, Y. So it's a pretty balanced set of tiles, but with no blanks and no S's. So hard to... Yeah, it's hard to imagine Thacha playing for a bingo, but it's also hard to imagine him playing for any scores. I don't see no obvious ways to win Chapanomy. What do you think?
In this rack, yeah, this is a tough spot. He's going for the points at the end of the day, going for answering.
Yeah.
It's pretty tough to pass on that. You know, blowing up your rack always feels a little bit icky, but getting 41 points puts you basically within 15 or so. I can't remember the exact score, but you're within one turn after that, which is reasonable.
Yeah.
The issue is just with all that uncertainty awaiting you in the bag. He doesn't know that Saidu has got a whole bunch of vowels in his rack, but when he looks at the bag, he sees that he could be pulling them all.
Yeah. I guess what I meant to say before is after fishing, it's hard to imagine a clear way to win. And I love taking those 42 points.
It's kind of funny. They're both facing very, very different issues at the moment.
Yeah.
Saidu is playing his
Wow.
only consonant with his rack full of vowels, and Thacha is stuck with a whole bunch of consonants.
Wow. Yeah, that was so unlucky for Thacha. From Thacha's perspective, there's only 3 consonants left in the bag out of 11, an H and a J and an M.
In this case, the H and the J happen to sit on Saidu's rack. So it's all vowels from here, pretty much.
Yeah, poor...
Thacha is in some serious trouble.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He only needed 1 vowel.
And O is really the only bingo spot. It's going to get killed next turn. Now, what does he even do? Like, I'm looking at things like Riot through the YO, but it's got to be something better than that.
Yeah. His only winning... Yeah, he seems especially screwed because like the only way Saidu has a bad rack is if Saidu has all vowels, but if Saidu has all vowels, that means that the only thing in the bag are consonants, and therefore Thacha cannot draw any vowels. So I think Thacha
Any way
surely,
you slice it, it's bad.
yeah, surely has no winning chances anymore. That H is quite valuable for Saidu, because that means he can score on that alongside answering.
So at the moment, there are 2 E's and an M in the bag, and there's one other one I haven't deduced yet. But
Yeah, and Thacha can do some consonant dumps, but they won't score enough, and then he's probably not going to score again for the rest of the game.
So he's playing Glent to get rid of a couple of his consonants there. Really interesting Hail Mary could have been to try and fish for non-metro, potentially, to the O in Pori, but I don't see anything else that you could do. And then it's going to get blocked anyway, but
Non-metro. Nice.
non-metro is one long shot possibility. But he's got Enteron as a natural 7 on his rack. Homeless. Rightfully so. Xiao is going to go down to score and deal with the last spot on the board.
Because indeed non-metro is a possibility from Saidu's perspective.
Yeah, that takes up any of the long shot 8s that could have come down. And it'll be a matter of formality from here.
Is there a missing? Where's the M? Shouldn't there be an M on? An M on Saidu's rack?
It's possible that it's stuck in a corner of the bag, maybe. Because I'm looking at the board. There is one M on the board. Oh yeah, this is one of those situations we actually can't tell them. But there is a tile in the bag.
So who knows what the optimal endgame is with a missing M?
Yeah, it's tough to plot this one out.
This was
That was a well-played game. A little bit unlucky for Thacha at the end there to pull out all those consonants. Saidu with a very strong game.
Yeah.
Rationals is a nice play. Daled to unload and score. That was well played.
Yes, Saidu played perfectly, basically. And he's very patient, which is... because he didn't look like the favorite at all until Rationals. And I think, yes, Saidu deserves this one because Thacha also played very strongly, but had a few questionable... like, he missed his post, and then Zek was...
I think Zek was a bit too aggressive.
Yeah, too aggressive. Edward Oculus! Would you like to visit?
Please come on in.
Yay!
Someone who has had a chance to sleep at last.
I'm just here because I want to see this game, but I don't want to walk up on stage like a dill.
Yeah, this
This
is
will
a
be
really good
Saidu's
game.
Cool.
Saidu has played extremely
Is that a
well.
Legend of Zelda notification sound?
No, it's just the default phone that comes with Huawei phones these days, I think.
Ah,
Can you? I've actually never played a single Legend of Zelda game in my life.
You have not.
I was a Sega child, you see.
Tier. Okay, so you're a Sonic boy.
Well, I mean, there were other games too, But I thought I was going to get a Wii so I could play Breath of the Wild, but then I got a life. No, I didn't.
Oh no.
So who's winning?
I
It's
just couldn't
Saidu.
pull it out. And deservedly so. He's played extremely
He's played a
well.
great game.
He played Rationals.
Nice. Through disconnected letters, that is nice.
Do we have a play of... No plays.
And Serena. Triple, is it?
That was just an extension.
Extension of AN.
Oh, right.
It looks like they have figured out the issue. There's the M
Oh,
on the
the
rack.
M reappeared.
Yeah,
Great.
so they fixed the draw there. For a little bit of time, the M was still in the bag, and it was going to be a weird end game without a letter, but it looks like they figured it out.
How'd you do?
I had a fairly, when you get good letters early, your opponent has crap, so it's quite an easy game.
What about the team?
Not doing so well. The dream team is having a bit of a nightmare.
Oh.
Yeah, Andrew had
It's
had a bit of a rough game last round.
I think David had a rough one too, didn't he? Oh no, the round before.
Do y'all have team strategy sessions? Andrew mentioned that
We have a bit of a huddle where we've lost a couple, where we have to lift the other up.
Oh, great.
Oh. Yeah, he mentioned when not sure of words, just play when you're sure rather than possibly lose points. He said there was some discussion of that.
Oh, I must have missed that. Who's in the chat? I wanna
In
see
the
who's
chat? It's a lot of North Americans, but we also got a couple of Britons as well. It switches further east as the day goes on. But yeah, there's another Briton there. I'm not sure I recognize that name. But most of them I know otherwise. Don't know that
Crackle
one.
is showing that Rec seems to be the strongest endgame line, threatening Tunner.
It's a lot of North Americans.
And ton is also a word, of course. Many thanks to
Can I?
Eli Dangor for
What is with all
sponsoring
these
this
Americans
live
obsessed
stream.
with verties? It's like, get a job, people. It's the same thing. Like, there are some people that are actively offended by people opening vertically.
Yes, there are. We were discussing that earlier. There are some people who are very
I
mad at
reiterate, get a job.
that. You should log into the chat just to
I
say
did
that.
several times in Brighton, and they kept doing it.
I think you wouldn't play Tenno with Joe because that would threaten Metho. Oh, right. And the reason, Rick is good because
It leaves that as an
Tenno.
out, and
Yeah.
Tunner, of course.
Yeah.
I need to get tea. That's a good idea.
Having 2 tea bags just because.
You know, go big or go home, right?
Ed, what is your job?
What is my job?
Do you have it? You seem to travel a lot. Does that mean you have no job right now?
I do some work remotely.
Wow.
Not very much. But I'm going to get a job again. I have spent the last 4 months studying, so I should be relatively good at Scrabble, but unfortunately I'm not.
Oh no.
Because I forgot to do the short words again.
Oh dear.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm getting all the bingos, I'm spotting them instantly. It's like, oh, is R-I-N-E a word?
See, but you didn't play TU or SOE.
It's true.
Ganesh did that yesterday.
Well,
So you're in good company.
well, if I could be half as good as Ganesh one day, that would be good. Actually, Ganesh is sort of a bit of on trend. There's a lot of silvering going on here. Looking very distinguished up top.
Salt and pepper. Do you call that silvering?
Oh no, just the process is silvering, but you're getting salt and pepper, yeah.
I'd never heard that before. Silvering. That's fancy.
Silvering.
Are you getting? No, you still look black. It's still looking pretty
Something
nicely
I've
coloured.
never heard before. Black.
Still got nice colouring going on there.
I've got a little bit in the side. Some pepper is showing up. Jason's ahead of me.
Thacha played a confounding play of just the O.
Justin,
Do you understand what? I guess he's going to play
Rennet, I guess is what he's
and I guess
hoping for there.
I guess that Saidu should not have played. What
He just played hug.
Okay, I guess Saidu should have played HOC to the Sea of Crocs.
So for final scores, what have you got there for us, Jason?
I don't know. I'm busy playing out other end games. Final score 441 for Saidu to 386 for Thacha.
That's all right. 441 386. Yeah, that's
It was a satisfying game.
that's a good game.
It's satisfying when one player plays almost ideally and beats the other player by a little bit, where the other player played a little bit less ideally.
Yeah. So, what do you think about Barfi on that turn? Would you have done that?
Oh, let's go back and take a look.
Because that's the one where I'm not sure. It worked out very well for him. I'm not sure I could pull the trigger on doing that.
What does the chat think of that first play?
That's a good question. Let's ask the chat. For those of you who remember, the rack, it was AABFIIN, and Barfi was what he chose in the end. I was more partial to something like Fab or Fib, just because with Barfi, you leave that I dangling out in the triple letter score, and for me personally, I'm scared of doing that early in the game, but
Yeah.
I don't know about you. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I am fine early in the game playing for just pure equity and not worrying about specific counter threats. Like, it's just likely that there'd be a huge QI play as getting bingoed on, and the outcome of either is the same.
I guess to be fair, and then if you play Fab or Fib on the E and Pori, then you have the same problem with the I or the A next to the triple letter down there, so that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool that Sims best. Oh, I wonder what.
The other option is
Yeah.
Feign alongside Pori on the right with the F at I3.
Yeah, Fib is also good.
Oh, Fib on the right side of Pori. Yeah, I think I would have probably done that if it were up to me.
Yeah, I mean AA is usually people I think don't appreciate that AA is okay usually, especially if you have an N or an M, like M's and N's sop up the A's, and that's why that play is strong. But they all seem about the same in the semi, like
they're all pretty close
good
there,
options.
But yeah, Barfi worked out very well for him.
Yeah, I also loved that Saidu played it quickly because I feel like a lot of players spend tons of time on their first, second, or third moves when that just doesn't make much sense. Like, people think that they're making all these strategical considerations in the first few plays of the game, but you just don't control the game very much when you're that early in it. And your opponent could have everything, anything could basically happen, and you have basically the same score, so there's not much to go on.
I call that the Packhorn Special.
Packhorn Special!
That was what he was so famous for, was taking forever for the first few moves and then speed playing the end of his games.
Yeah.
And it somehow worked for him all the time.
I want to try to find Saidu.
All right.
How exciting would it be to have him?
All right, so Jason's going to see if he can find Saidu out there. If we can't get him in studio, then we'll cut out quickly before the next round. We'll let you know in just a minute or two here if we can get Saidu in to talk about his game. Let's see. Cheryl Melvin says, enjoying your commentary very much. All right, thank you for watching, Cheryl. We do appreciate that. Do our best to make it interesting here for you. What time is it there? It's 6:20 p.m., so 8:20 p.m. in Michigan. All right, well, we have Saidu in studio. We'll have him take a seat and talk about his game a bit here.
Really exciting.
Yeah, welcome, Saidu.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
We wanted to talk to you a bit about the game. It was excellently played, particularly on your side. We loved what we saw. Rationals was beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, so how about, since we were just talking about it, your first move when you played Barfi?
Yeah.
Maybe talk us through that one. You played it really fast. Jason mentioned that was super impressive.
Okay.
Yeah, how about that one? Talk about that move a little bit.
Yeah, it's like I actually want to leave Iraq that is going to be very easy for me to play next time.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized that I need to take off one eye, an A, which is normal. And I actually noticed that if I play Fib, I actually want to play Fib up at in front of Pori, FIB. Yeah, at what's that point? That's at 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, it's going to leave me with Inia.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Iraq is not that good. Although Barfi is not scoring as much as that, so I had to just sacrifice that, the little points, and just balance my rack. Do you think it's a good play?
Yeah,
it's good.
We were just impressed because for me, I'm personally scared of dangling an eye in a spot like that, but it's like it worked out very well for you because you got QI very shortly after.
So when I picked the key, I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
This is sweet.
It worked out very well for you.
Yeah. And then Saidu mentioned as we were walking here that he was afraid of playing warrants here, and I think it was good to be afraid of, because we had the choice of bingoing here or playing safer, and I thought it was talk us through that.
Yeah, and I actually didn't want to play raw. I could have played raw down road, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't I just wanted to just finish, and it really helped me towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
Playing Jawi and just sitting off the board totally. I don't want to play warrant because I'm just going to have like a lead of like 20 points.
Yeah.
And if he picks any score,
Yeah.
and what about if I don't come out with any good tile? What am I going to do?
Yeah.
So just like, let me just postpone it because I have a blank. Worst case, I'm near. He was probably leading with like 7 points when I played war down. So I actually did that.
Yeah, we liked War a lot. That was
Yeah,
a nice play. You did.
Yeah, I was like, this guy's gonna like my move. I was like scared. I was like,
No,
am I
you were
making the
good.
right move?
You're the pro here, sir.
Yeah.
Daled was really nice as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What option was I having then? I think I wanted to play. I considered playing.
That was
Was there another thing I considered?
that was the best.
Yeah,
by far.
Eptad. I considered playing Eptad. Yeah, but I just felt it actually gives a lot.
Yeah.
It gives away a lot. So
Yeah.
Daled basically gives nothing back.
yeah, there's nothing back.
Yeah.
I don't want to be selfish, but I think it's selfish.
Nice.
What else is on your mind? Any other thoughts?
So what?
What else are you thinking about today?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
One game at a time, right?
Yeah, one game at a time. That's why I'm playing well.
Yeah, you are playing well.
Yeah, I'm trying. No, not playing well. Just trying to put in my best.
Who do you have next?
The next player is let me see. Stanley Jorge.
All right. Cool. I don't think I've ever gotten to see him play before.
No.
Have you played him lots before?
Yeah, I played him at the World Tournament.
Okay.
And he's a good player.
Who won the last one?
I did.
Excellent.
So I'm going to win this.
All right,
I
fingers
should
crossed
win.
for you.
Yeah.
Keep it up. You're
Yeah,
doing a
thanks.
fantastic job.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, so that was Saidu coming in briefly in studio after his victory over Thacha from Thailand.